Geekdoms, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Geek Devotions. Their mission? To boldly geek where no geek has geeked before. Hello and welcome to Geek Devotions, the show from devoted geeks who are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. Guys, it's Geekmas! But specifically, it's Trekmas. Wait, I'm missing something. Much better. All month long, we are celebrating Geekmas by looking at the Star Trek series. All of them. Any of them. Many of them. We don't know. We're just looking at them. And we want to give a big thank you and shout out to devoted geek Michael Mancini, because Michael had this idea, he presented it to us, and he did a ton of back work, guys. He has lined out each episode, given thoughts, given ideas, given scriptures, and while we may take some of those thoughts and ideas and scriptures and make them our own so that we're presenting to you our devotions, he put in so much work to make sure that Trekmas was a good thing for you. So thank you, Michael. As always, guys, don't forget to check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also have the Twitch page, we have a website, and we have a brand new shiny merch store that also devoted geek Edwin Cruz, who runs Revivals, Signs, and Banners, has allowed us to have his space. And guys, your shirts are going to be such good quality now, so we highly recommend that you go and check it out, see what's over there. We're trying to post up new stuff on this website all the time. We also have an announcement later in the show, so make sure you stick around. Today on Geek Devotions, we're talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation, a very specific episode. We're talking about the episode that's entitled I, Borg. And the general synopsis of this episode is that Captain Picard and the crew are on a planet, and they find a member of the Borg who is injured. And because Dr. Crusher is a very good doctor, she goes, "We can't let this man die." So they take him to the ship, much to Captain Picard's protests. They heal him up, and then they begin to devise a plan to send him back to the ship with something to help destroy the Borg. Now, not everybody is on board with this plan, but in the midst of their planning and plotting and making this thing up, they realize that this member of the Borg is starting to change. You see, he had disconnected from the collective. He had disconnected from everything he knew, and they were talking to him and realized that he was starting to get a sense of individuality. He was starting to see himself as not part of the Borg, but as a person. He even chose a name. He chose the word Hugh as his name. Now, diehard Star Trek fans know Hugh because he has crossed many things. He was in a movie, which I haven't seen yet, but he was in it. He was in Picard, the most recent Star Trek series except for Discovery. But in the midst of this coming to an awareness of his self, he's realizing that the things that were taught to him by the Borg were not right. They were incorrect. People don't want to be assimilated, and to assimilate them without them wanting to be assimilated is wrong. And he comes to this realization. He even has this really great scene with Captain Picard, because Captain Picard's still real gung-ho on wiping the Borg out, and other people are having issues with it because, A, genocide, B, what if it doesn't work, type thing. But he talks to him, and they go, okay, just look him in the eye, talk to him for a few minutes. And so after that, Picard talks to him and looks him in the eye, and he realizes that Hugh has changed. Hugh is different. There's something different about Hugh that means that to do this would be morally wrong. So Hugh himself makes the decision to go back to the collective while keeping his sense of individuality. And my understanding is that it was like a bomb went off in the Borg, because his mindset, his thoughts of he is a person, not a drone, were like just catastrophic to the way of the Borg lifestyle. As Christians, here at Geek Devotions, we talk about Jesus. We know Jesus. We know how we're supposed to live. We know we're supposed to live a righteous life. And there's things that we cannot partake in. There's things we can't do. But at the same time, there's things we enjoy. We ultimately know that Jesus loves everybody and longs for them to come to his salvation. As geeks, we also speak geek language. We know who Kakarot is. We know who the Borg are. We know what resistance is feudal means. We know the difference between weebs and Trekkies. And as a result of having the knowledge of geek culture and God's culture, we have the opportunity to do something on a catastrophic level. Now, I'm not saying that it needs to be a bad thing, but just to get into your mind the magnitude of what we could do. In Matthew 5:16, it says, "In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." We say it here all the time at Geek Devotions. Just a couple of devoted geeks who are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. But what if everybody who was a devoted geek, who loves Jesus and loves their geekdoms, let their light shine? What if we all boldly proclaimed the ways of righteousness? Or just, we're in the culture, we're talking to people, we're doing the things we would normally do, and we share Jesus. So this is the challenge for the week. Not the question of the week, I do have one of those, but the challenge for the week. Are you doing everything you could be doing to share Jesus with your geeky friends? Are you making sure that you live a lifestyle that's so radically different from everything they know that they go, what's that? What's going on? And it can radically change their mindsets. Just living Jesus in front of them. Now, if you're like our friends over at Nerd Chapel or God Squad Church, and you are doing that, you are living your life boldly for Jesus and still being geeky, then your challenge is, who are you discipling? It's one thing to live your life for Jesus and to share the gospel, but don't leave people out in the cold. Don't leave people to go, that's great, this Jesus person is cool. What do I do now? Make sure somebody is there to answer the question. Okay guys, that was your devotion for the week. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all the things. We have stuff on the website. We also have a new segment of our podcast coming out that is not going to be hosted by Dallas and I. So you're going to get to hear the voices of our friends John Haryu and Steve McDonald. They're pretty cool people. They're also huge music geeks. And you're going to get to hear some interesting perspectives on some music from them. It is now time for the question of the week. The week. Question of the week. What is your favorite Star Trek series? There's 15 jillion of them. I am slowly going through every series in order of star date, which is interesting. Currently in DS9. So that one's getting a little hard to get through. It's a different style show. It's interesting. So I think my favorite at the moment is Next Generation, but I've only watched the original Next Gen and DS9. So there you go. I don't have much frame of reference. So let us know down in the comments which one's your favorite, if any. And all that being said, stay devoted.
Peace and love.